The day Earth made first contact with an alien civilization dawned like any other. Dr. Amelia Chen sipped her coffee, bleary-eyed from another late night poring over radio telescope data. The ping from her computer barely registered at first, just another of the millions of signals constantly washing over our planet from the depths of space. But this ping was different. Amelia's eyes widened as she processed what she was seeing. The signal was structured, repeating, undeniably artificial. And it was coming from a previously unremarkable star system just 40 light-years away. "Holy shit," she whispered, fingers flying across her keyboard. "This is it." Within hours, the news had spread across the globe. Humanity held its collective breath as the world's greatest minds scrambled to decipher the message. It took weeks of frantic work, but finally, Amelia and her team cracked the code. The message was an invitation. 6 months later, Amelia found herself aboard the UNSS Hawking, Earth's most advanced starship, as it dropped out of faster-than-light travel in orbit around an alien world. The blue-green planet below looked remarkably like Earth, though its continents were unfamiliar. "Nervous?" Captain Beak asked, a hint of a smile playing at the corners of her mouth. Amelia nodded, not trusting herself to speak. After a lifetime of searching the stars, she was about to become one of the first humans to set foot on an alien world. The landing was smooth, the ship touching down in a clearing surrounded by towering purple-leaf trees. As the airlock cycled open, Amelia took a deep breath of alien air. It smelled faintly of cinnamon. And then she saw them. The Zarquin were tall, easily 7 feet, with iridescent scales covering lithe, almost feline bodies. Their eyes were large and multifaceted, like those of an insect. But it was their movements that truly captivated Amelia, fluid and graceful, as if they were constantly dancing to music only they could hear. One of the aliens stepped forward, raising a 6-fingered hand in what Amelia hoped was a gesture of greeting. She mimicked the motion, her heart pounding. "Greetings, beings of Earth," the alien said, its voice a melodious trill that seemed to bypass Amelia's ears and resonate directly in her mind. "We are the Zarquin. We welcome you to our world." Amelia swallowed hard, acutely aware that the fate of humanity might well rest on her next words. "On behalf of Earth and all its peoples, we thank you for your invitation and your welcome. We come in peace and friendship, eager to learn and share knowledge." The alien's multifaceted eyes sparkled. "Knowledge is the greatest treasure in the universe. Come, let us share ours with you." The next few days were a whirlwind of discovery. The Zarquin technology was centuries beyond Earth's. Clean energy, faster-than-light travel, and medical advancements that bordered on the miraculous. Amelia and her team worked tirelessly, trying to absorb as much information as possible. But as the initial excitement wore off, cracks began to appear in the facade of perfect understanding. It started small, miscommunications, cultural faux pas that left both sides confused and slightly offended. The Zarquin method of problem-solving, based on complex harmonics and multidimensional thinking, was utterly alien to the human scientists. Likewise, the Zarquin seemed baffled by human intuition and lateral thinking. Tensions came to a head during a joint engineering project. The humans had proposed a modification to the Zarquin's faster-than-light drive that could potentially double its efficiency. The lead Zarquin engineer, Xalfar, dismissed the idea out of hand. "Impossible," Xalfar trilled, his scales flush with agitation. "Your mathematics is flawed. The resonance cascades would tear the ship apart." Dr. Marcus Oshiro, the human team's lead engineer, bristled. "With all due respect, our calculations are sound. If you just look at the simulations." "We have looked," Xalfar interrupted. "They are wrong. You simply lack the cognitive framework to understand the complexities involved." The room erupted into a cacophony of angry voices and discordant trills. Amelia watched in horror as months of careful diplomacy teetered on the brink of collapse. "Enough," she shouted, her voice cutting through the noise. All eyes, human and alien, turned to her. Amelia took a deep breath, choosing her words carefully. We're all frustrated, but this is exactly why we're here, to learn from each other. Zelfar, is it possible that your people's way of thinking, while incredibly advanced, might have certain blind spots? And Marcus, can you admit that there might be factors at play here that our science hasn't yet grasped? There was a moment of tense silence. Then, slowly, both the human and Zarquin engineers nodded. Perhaps, Zalthar conceded, his scales shifting to a more neutral hue. There is merit in examining this problem from multiple perspectives. It was a small victory, but an important one. As the days wore on, more such conflicts arose, each one a potential landmine in the delicate dance of interspecies diplomacy. Amelia found herself constantly mediating, searching for common ground between two radically different ways of thinking. The breaking point came 3 weeks into the mission. A human researcher, Dr. Emily Sato, had been working closely with a Zarquin biologist named Vexera on a project to map the alien world's complex ecosystem. During a routine expedition, Emily made a discovery that she believed could revolutionize Earth's understanding of symbiotic relationships. Excited, she shared her findings with Vexera, expecting the Zarquin to be equally thrilled. Instead, Vexera reacted with what seemed to be horror. "You must destroy this data immediately," Vexera trilled, her scales flashing warning colors. "This knowledge is forbidden." Emily was stunned. Forbidden? But this could be a major breakthrough. Think of the potential applications. No. Vexera's mental voice reverberated with such force that Emily staggered back. "You do not understand the consequences. This knowledge is dangerous. It must not be pursued." The argument quickly escalated, drawing in other researchers from both species. The Zarquin insisted that certain areas of scientific inquiry were too dangerous to explore, while the humans argued passionately for the pursuit of knowledge at all costs. As the debate raged, Amelia realized with growing dread that they were facing a fundamental incompatibility in values. The Zarquin's entire society was built around the careful control and distribution of knowledge. To them, unfettered scientific exploration was not just reckless, it was deeply immoral. The humans, with their culture of academic freedom and open inquiry, found this concept abhorrent. How could any civilization advance if it placed arbitrary limits on what could be studied or known? As accusations of censorship and recklessness flew back and forth, Amelia knew she had to act. The fledgling relationship between humanity and the Zarquin was at stake. She called an emergency meeting of the senior members of both delegations. For hours they argued and debated, each side trying to make the other understand their perspective. Amelia listened carefully, searching for a way forward. Finally, as tempers began to fray, and it seemed all hope of reconciliation was lost, Amelia stood. "We're looking at this all wrong," she said, her voice quiet but firm. All eyes turned to her. "We're so focused on our differences that we're missing the incredible opportunity in front of us. Yes, our approaches to knowledge and discovery are radically different. But isn't that exactly why this cultural exchange is so valuable?" She turned to the Zarquin. "Your people have developed incredible technologies and insights that we can scarcely comprehend. You've learned to balance progress with caution in a way that's kept your civilization stable for millennia. We have so much to learn from you." Then to the humans. "And we bring our own strengths to the table. Our curiosity, our willingness to challenge assumptions and take intellectual risks. These are the qualities that have driven our own greatest discoveries." Amelia took a deep breath. What if, instead of trying to force one approach on the other, we found a way to combine them? To create a new model of scientific collaboration that takes the best of both worlds. The room was silent for a long moment. Then, slowly, a Zarquin elder named Zinral stood. Their scales shimmered with a color Amelia had never seen before. "You speak with wisdom beyond your years, Dr. Chen," Zinral trilled. "Perhaps there is more to learn from your species than we had first believed." It wasn't a resolution to all their problems, But it was a start. As the meeting adjourned, Amelia felt a glimmer of hope. The road ahead would be challenging, full of misunderstandings and cultural pitfalls. But if they could find a way to bridge the gap between their two species, the potential for discovery and growth was limitless. As she looked out the window at the alien sunset, painting the sky in shades of green and gold, Amelia realized that the messy, frustrating, exhilarating process of building understanding between two radically different cultures, was the true purpose of their mission. It was a daunting task, but one that humanity was uniquely suited for. The adventure was only just beginning. The Galactic Challenge. The tension between the human expedition and their Zarquin hosts had eased somewhat following Dr. Amelia Chen's impassioned speech, but an undercurrent of wariness remained. Both species were treading carefully, acutely aware of how easily misunderstandings could arise. It was against this backdrop of tentative cooperation that the Zarquin made a startling revelation. "We are not alone in this galaxy," Zinral announced during a joint briefing. The elder's scales shimmered with a mix of colors that Amelia had come to associate with excitement and concern. "There are many spacefaring civilizations, bound together in what you might call a galactic federation." The human delegation exchanged stunned glances. Captain Beak leaned forward, her voice taut with barely contained excitement. "And this federation, are we to be invited to join?" Zinral's multifaceted eyes seemed to dim slightly. "It is not so simple. Membership in the Galactic Concord is earned, not given. Each new species must prove their worth through a series of trials." Dr. Marcus Oshiro frowned. "Trials? What kind of trials?" "A great challenge," Zinral explained. "One that tests not just technological prowess, but wisdom, creativity, and moral fiber. The nature of the challenge is different for each species." Amelia felt a chill run down her spine. And what is humanity's challenge? The answer, when it came, was both thrilling and terrifying. At the edge of the solar system that humanity called home, a massive structure had appeared seemingly overnight. A space station of impossible scale and complexity, built from materials unknown to Earth science. The Star Bridge, Zinral called it, a nexus point capable of connecting distant parts of the galaxy. Your challenge is to activate it. The catch: Earth had just 5 years to solve the puzzle of the Star Bridge. If they succeeded, they would gain access to the galactic community and all the knowledge and opportunities that came with it. If they failed, the Star Bridge will be dismantled, Zinral said solemnly, and Earth will be considered unready for galactic citizenship. You will be left to develop on your own, with no further contact from other civilizations. The stakes could not have been higher. As news of the challenge spread across Earth, reactions were mixed. Some saw it as humanity's greatest opportunity, a chance to propel themselves into a new era of exploration and discovery. Others viewed it with suspicion and fear, worried about the intentions of these alien civilizations and the price of failure. Global leaders convened emergency sessions. Scientific institutions worldwide shifted their focus to the Starbridge project. A new sense of unity emerged as humanity faced this monumental task together. Dr. Amelia Chen found herself at the center of it all. Her expertise in xenolinguistics and her experience with the Zarquin made her invaluable to the project. She was appointed as the lead coordinator for the international team assembled to tackle the Starbridge challenge. The first year was spent simply trying to understand the basics of the structure. Probes sent to study the Starbridge returned baffling data. The station seemed to defy the laws of physics as humanity understood them. Its very existence challenged fundamental assumptions about the nature of space and time. Dr. Oshiro led the engineering team, working tirelessly to reverse engineer the alien technology. "It's like trying to understand a smartphone with Stone Age tools," he complained during one frustrating briefing. "We're missing fundamental principles here." Amelia nodded, understanding his frustration all too well. Her own team was grappling with the Starbridge's control systems, which seemed to operate on principles more akin to music or poetry than any computer language known to Earth. As the second year of the challenge dawned, progress remained frustratingly slow. Earth's best minds were pushing the boundaries of human knowledge, making breakthrough after breakthrough. But the Star Bridge remained stubbornly inert. Pressure mounted. Politicians demanded results. The public's initial excitement began to wane, replaced by anxiety and doubt. Fringe groups arose, some calling for the Star Bridge to be destroyed, others claiming it was all an elaborate hoax. Amelia found herself working around the clock, pushing herself to the brink of exhaustion. The fate of humanity rested on their success, and the weight of that responsibility was crushing. It was during this darkest hour that an unexpected breakthrough came from an unlikely source. Liam O'Connor was a 16-year-old high school student from a small town in Ireland. He had been following the Starbridge project obsessively, devouring every scrap of publicly available information. One night, unable to sleep, he was listening to a leaked audio recording of the Starbridge's electromagnetic emissions while idly strumming his guitar. As he played, he noticed something odd. Certain chord progressions seemed to resonate with the Starbridge's emissions, creating complex harmonic patterns. Excited, Liam spent the next week experimenting, mapping out these resonances. When he finally gathered the courage to submit his findings to the Starbridge project's public input portal, Amelia nearly missed it. It was pure chance that she happened to be reviewing submissions that day, looking for any spark of inspiration. Liam's theory was rough, full of amateur mistakes and leaps of logic. But at its core it was an idea so brilliant in its simplicity that Amelia felt her breath catch. "Music," she whispered, her mind racing. "It's not a language or a code. It's music." The next few months were a whirlwind of activity. Liam was brought into the project, his youth and lack of formal training balanced by his unique insight and intuitive understanding of the Starbridge's harmonic principles. Progress that had been painfully slow for years suddenly accelerated. The Starbridge responded to carefully orchestrated symphonies of light, sound, and electromagnetic radiation. Dormant systems hummed to life, responding to the music of the spheres in ways that defied conventional scientific explanation. As the third year of the challenge drew to a close, humanity stood on the brink of a monumental achievement. The Starbridge was awakening, its vast networks of energy conduits pulsing with potential. But with this progress came new dangers. As the team delved deeper into the Starbridge's systems, they began to understand the true scale of the power they were dealing with. A miscalculation could have catastrophic consequences not just for Earth, but for the fabric of space-time itself. The pressure to succeed was immense, but so too was the need for caution. Amelia found herself caught between those who wanted to push forward at all costs and those who urged restraint. It was Liam who provided the breakthrough once again. During a late-night brainstorming session, fueled by too much coffee and the desperation of looming deadlines, he made an offhand comment that changed everything. "It's like we're not just playing the music," he said, gesturing wildly at the holographic models of the Starbridge. "We're part of it. The Starbridge, Earth, us, we're all instruments in this cosmic orchestra." Amelia felt a jolt of recognition. She thought back to her early interactions with the Zaraquin, their fluid movements, and harmonious society. "That's it," she breathed. "It's not about controlling the Starbridge. It's about harmonizing with it." This realization sparked a fundamental shift in their approach. Instead of trying to impose their will on the alien structure, they began to work with it, attuning themselves to its rhythms and resonances. Progress accelerated dramatically. As the fourth year of the challenge began, success seemed tantalizingly close. But with it came new questions, new ethical dilemmas that humanity had never faced before. The Starbridge didn't just connect distant points in space. It could potentially link different times, even different realities. The power to reshape the very nature of existence was within humanity's grasp. Amelia found herself at the center of intense debates. How should this power be used? Who should control it? What were the responsibilities that came with such godlike abilities? As the final year of the challenge approached, Earth stood at a crossroads. They had proven their technological prowess, their creativity, and their ability to think beyond the boundaries of conventional science. But now came the true test, the test of wisdom and moral fiber that Zinral had spoken of. The fate of humanity would be decided not just by their ability to activate the Starbridge, but by the choices they made about how to use it. As Amelia looked out at the vast expanse of space, she knew that the greatest challenges and the greatest opportunities still lay ahead. The symphony of the cosmos was building to a crescendo, and humanity was about to take center stage. Human ingenuity unleashed. As the final year of the Starbridge Challenge dawned, Earth was a planet transformed. The global cooperation necessitated by the project had led to unprecedented advancements in technology, diplomacy, and social structures. Yet, as humanity stood on the precipice of a new era, the pressure to succeed had never been greater. Dr. Amelia Chen stood before the United Nations General Assembly, her holographic projection visible to billions around the world. "We've made remarkable progress," she began, her voice steady despite her nerves. "But activating the Starbridge is only the beginning. We must now decide how to use this power responsibly." The debate that followed was fierce. Some argued for immediate, full-scale exploration of the galaxy. Others advocated for a more cautious approach, fearing the unknown dangers that might lurk among the stars. Still others questioned whether humanity had the right to wield such power at all. As the arguments raged, Amelia found herself thinking of Liam O'Connor, the young Irish prodigy whose musical insights had been so crucial to their progress. Where others saw only problems, Liam had a knack for finding unexpected solutions. Inspired, Amelia made a radical proposal. "We've been approaching this as a scientific and political problem," she told the assembly. "But the Starbridge responds to harmony, not just in music, but in thought and purpose. I propose we open the final stage of the project to all of humanity." Her suggestion was met with skepticism at first. How could they possibly coordinate billions of people? But as Amelia explained her vision, excitement began to build. The plan was audacious. Using a combination of virtual reality technology and the harmonic principles they'd discovered, they would create a global network that allowed every person on Earth to contribute to the Starbridge's activation. It would be part scientific endeavor, part planet-wide concert, part collective meditation. "We're not just reaching for the stars," Amelia concluded. "We're reaching for the best version of ourselves." The next few months were a flurry of activity. Tech companies worked around the clock to develop and distribute the necessary hardware. Musicians collaborated with scientists to compose the underlying harmonic structures. Spiritual leaders from every faith tradition offered insights into achieving collective mental states. As the day of the attempt approached, an air of nervous anticipation settled over the globe. Would this unprecedented effort be enough? Or would humanity fall short, consigning themselves to cosmic isolation? The activation began at dawn, following the sun's path around the Earth. From the beaches of Fiji to the streets of New York, from the savannas of Africa to the peaks of the Himalayas, billions of humans donned their VR gear and joined the great cosmic orchestra. At the heart of it all, aboard the International Space Station that had been converted into Starbridge control, Amelia watched in awe as the data flowed in. The Starbridge was responding, its vast systems resonating with the collective will of humanity. But it wasn't enough. As hour after hour passed, they came close to the activation threshold, only to fall short each time. Fatigue set in as the effort stretched on, and Amelia began to fear they might fail at the final hurdle. It was Liam who saw the missing piece. "We're trying too hard," he said, his young face creased with concentration. "Everyone's focusing so much on the goal that we're creating dissonance. We need to let go, to trust in each other and in the music itself." Amelia nodded, understanding immediately. She gave the order to shift the harmonic patterns, moving from driving, goal-oriented rhythms to more open, flowing melodies. The effect was immediate and startling. As people around the world relaxed into the music, a new level of harmony emerged. The Starbridge responded, its energy levels surging. In orbit, the massive structure began to glow, pulsing with colors that defied description. Arcs of energy danced between its sprawling arms, growing in intensity until, with a flash that outshone the sun, the Starbridge activated. A cheer went up around the world as the confirmation came through. They had done it. Humanity had passed the test. But their triumph was short-lived. As the glow of the Starbridge faded, they realized that their success had brought a new set of challenges. The first transmissions from the galactic community flooded in, overwhelming Earth's communication systems with a deluge of information, invitations, and warnings. Alien species from across the galaxy reached out, some offering friendship, others issuing veiled threats. And there were other, more immediate concerns. The energy released by the Starbridge's activation had caused widespread disruptions to Earth's electrical grids and communication networks. Reports came in of strange phenomena, localized time distortions, spontaneous matter transmutation, even sightings of what seemed to be alternate versions of people and places. As governments scrambled to address these issues, Amelia and her team worked tirelessly to understand and control the Starbridge's capabilities. They quickly realized that while they had succeeded in activating the structure, truly mastering it would take years, perhaps decades. But they had also gained something profound. The global collaboration had given humanity a new sense of unity and purpose. The experience of joining together in the activation effort had left an indelible mark on the collective human consciousness. As the dust settled, Earth found itself facing a new reality. They were no longer alone in the universe. They wielded power beyond their wildest dreams. And they had to decide, as a species, how to move forward. Amelia stood before the United Nations once again, this time to present their options. "We stand at a crossroads," she said, her voice carrying the weight of their responsibility. "We can use the Starbridge to explore the galaxy, to learn and grow and take our place among the stars. But we must also be mindful of the risks and ethical implications." She outlined a proposal for a new global organization, one that would oversee humanity's use of the Starbridge and manage their interactions with alien species. It would draw on experts from every field and representatives from every nation. "We've proven that when we work together, there's nothing we can't achieve," Amelia concluded. "Now we must use that same spirit of cooperation and innovation to navigate the challenges ahead." As the assembly debated the proposal, Amelia found a quiet moment to speak with Liam. The young man had become a global celebrity, his insights lauded as key to humanity's success. But as they talked, Amelia was reminded that for all his brilliance, he was still just a teenager thrust into an extraordinary situation. "What happens now?" Liam asked, a mix of excitement and apprehension in his voice. Amelia smiled, putting a reassuring hand on his shoulder. Now the real adventure begins. We've got a whole galaxy to explore, and we're going to need every ounce of that creativity of yours." As they looked out at the stars, now no longer distant and unreachable, both felt a sense of infinite possibility. Humanity had faced its greatest challenge and emerged stronger, more united, and ready to take its place in the cosmic community. The Starbridge pulsed with energy, a beacon of hope and a gateway to a future limited only by their imagination and their will to pursue it. Whatever lay ahead, they would face it together, guided by the harmony they had found in their finest hour. The universe awaited, and humanity was ready to answer its call. Alliance and adversity. The activation of the Starbridge had thrust humanity onto the galactic stage, and the learning curve was steep. Dr. Amelia Chen found herself at the helm of the newly formed Terran Cosmic Council, TCC, the organization tasked with managing Earth's extraterrestrial affairs and Starbridge operations. In the months following the activation, Earth had made contact with dozens of alien civilizations. Some, like the Zaraquin, were welcoming. Others were cautious, even hostile. The galaxy, it turned out, was a complex political landscape with alliances, rivalries, and conflicts stretching back millennia. We're like a child who's suddenly been given a seat at the adults' table, Amelia mused during a TCC briefing. We have so much to learn, and so little time to learn it. One of their first major challenges came in the form of the Vex Imperium, a militant species that viewed humanity's sudden access to Starbridge technology as a threat. The Vex demanded that Earth relinquish control of the Starbridge, claiming that such power was too dangerous in the hands of a primitive species. The TCC was divided on how to respond. Some advocated for a show of strength, arguing that backing down would only invite further aggression. Others pushed for diplomacy, fearing that a confrontation could escalate into an interstellar war that humanity was ill-equipped to fight. It was Liam O'Connor, now serving as a special advisor to the TCC despite his young age, who proposed an unconventional solution. We keep talking about the Starbridge as a weapon or a tool, he said, his voice carrying the confidence he'd gained over the past year. But what if we thought of it as an instrument instead? What if we could use it to create something beautiful, something that shows who we really are as a species? Amelia's eyes lit up, immediately grasping Liam's idea. A galactic symphony, she breathed, using the Starbridge to broadcast a message of peace and creativity across the cosmos. The plan was risky. It would require diverting significant power from Earth's defenses to the Starbridge, leaving them vulnerable if the Vex decided to attack. But if it worked, it could change the narrative entirely. As preparations for the symphony began, Earth reached out to its allies among the galactic community. The Zarquin were the first to join, eager to combine their harmonic technologies with human creativity. Other species followed, the crystalline Luminae, whose light-based language added visual splendor to the performance. The gaseous Nimbari, whose atmospheric manipulations created otherworldly sounds. The day of the performance arrived. As tensions with the Vex Imperium reached a boiling point, with their warships hovering at the edge of the solar system, Earth prepared to play its unconventional trump card. The symphony began with a single pure note, the sound of Earth's oceans, carried across the stars. It built slowly, layer upon layer of music and light, and mathematical harmonies beyond human comprehension. The Starbridge sang, its energy conduits pulsing in time with the music, amplifying the signal across the galaxy. For 3 hours, the performance continued, telling the story of humanity. Our struggles and triumphs, our fears and hopes, our insatiable curiosity, and boundless creativity. It was a declaration, not of war, but of existence. We are here, it said. We mean you no harm. Let us show you who we are. As the final notes faded, the galaxy held its breath. For long moments, there was silence. Then, gradually, responses began to pour in. Species that had been wary now reached out in friendship, moved by the beauty and emotion of the performance. Even the Vex Imperium, though they did not withdraw their forces, opened diplomatic channels for the first time. But the symphony had an even more profound effect closer to home. The act of coming together to create something of such beauty and scale had touched something deep in the human psyche. For the first time, people around the world truly felt like citizens of Earth, part of something greater than their individual nations or cultures. As Amelia stood in the TCC control room, watching the incoming messages from across the galaxy, she felt a surge of pride and hope. "We did it," she said softly, squeezing Liam's shoulder. "We showed them who we really are." Liam nodded, his eyes wide with wonder. "So what happens now?" Before Amelia could answer, an alert sounded. A new signal was coming through the Starbridge, more powerful than anything they'd seen before. As they scrambled to decode it, a holographic image flickered to life in the center of the room. The being that appeared was unlike anything they'd encountered. A swirling mass of energy and light, vaguely humanoid but clearly alien. When it spoke, its voice seemed to bypass their ears entirely, resonating directly in their minds. "Greetings, people of Earth," it said. "I am an emissary of the Cosmic Concord, the eldest of galactic civilizations. Your symphony has reached us, and we are intrigued." For the first time, In 100,000 years, we wish to meet with a young species directly. Prepare yourselves. We are coming." As the hologram faded, Amelia and Liam exchanged looks of shock and excitement. The cosmic concord was thought to be a myth, a legend among the stars. If they were real, and they were coming to Earth, I guess the real test begins now, Amelia said, her voice a mix of apprehension and anticipation. Liam nodded, a determined glint in his eye. "Whatever happens, we'll face it together. That's what got us this far, right?" As word of the cosmic concord's impending arrival spread, Earth once again found itself preparing for a moment that would define its future. But this time, they faced the unknown not with fear, but with confidence. They had faced challenges before and emerged stronger. Whatever the cosmic concord brought with them, humanity would be ready. The stars had never seemed so bright or so full of promise. As Amelia looked out at the night sky, she felt a sense of destiny. Humanity's greatest adventure was just beginning, and she couldn't wait to see where it would lead them next. A new era of cooperation. The arrival of the Cosmic Concord emissaries was a moment that would be forever etched in human history. As their ship emerged from the starbridge, a collective gasp echoed across Earth. The vessel defied conventional understanding, seeming to exist in multiple dimensions at once, its form shifting and flowing like liquid light. Dr. Amelia Chen and Liam O'Connor stood at the forefront of the welcoming committee, their hearts racing with a mixture of excitement and trepidation. As the ship landed in a specially prepared area outside the United Nations headquarters in New York, a hush fell over the gathered crowd. The beings that emerged were as awe-inspiring as their ship. They appeared as swirling vortexes of energy, their bodies a kaleidoscope of colors that seemed to bend the very fabric of reality around them. When they spoke, it was not with words, but with thoughts and emotions that resonated directly in the minds of those present. "We are the architects," the lead entity communicated. "We have watched your species from afar, curious about your potential. Your symphony has proven that you are ready for the next step in cosmic evolution." Over the next few days, the architects shared knowledge that revolutionized human understanding of the universe. They spoke of dimensions beyond the four humans knew, of the intricate web of energy that connected all living things across the cosmos, and of technologies so advanced they seemed like magic. But it was not all good news. The architects warned of great challenges facing the galaxy. Cosmic phenomena that threatened the very fabric of space-time, ancient conflicts that could engulf entire star systems, and the looming specter of entropy that threatened to unravel the universe itself. "We have chosen Earth," the architects explained, "to join a select group of species in addressing these challenges. Your unique blend of creativity, resilience, and harmony has the potential to unlock solutions that have eluded even our eldest civilizations." The offer was both thrilling and daunting. Earth would gain access to knowledge and technology beyond their wildest dreams, but they would also be taking on responsibilities on a cosmic scale. As the leaders of Earth debated the proposal, Amelia found herself in deep discussion with Liam and Zinral, the Zarquin elder who had become a close ally. "This is what we've been preparing for," Amelia said, her eyes shining with determination. "Everything we've learned, everything we've overcome, it's all led to this moment." Liam nodded, his young face serious. "But are we ready? The challenges they're talking about, it's on a scale we can barely comprehend." Zinral's scales shimmered thoughtfully. "Perhaps that is precisely why you are needed. Your species sees possibilities where others see only obstacles. You create harmony from chaos. These are rare and valuable traits in our universe." After much deliberation, Earth made its decision. In a historic broadcast watched by billions across the planet and beyond, the President of the United Nations addressed the galaxy. "To the architects, to our allies among the stars, and to all sentient beings who may be listening," she began, "Earth accepts the challenge and the responsibility you have offered us. We do so not out of arrogance or ambition, but out of a deep commitment to the preservation and flourishing of all life. She continued, her voice strong and clear. We know we have much to learn, but we also have much to offer. The same spirit of innovation and cooperation that allowed us to activate the Starbridge will now be turned to the greatest challenges our universe faces. We are honored to take our place among the caretakers of the cosmos. As the speech concluded, a cheer went up around the world. Humanity had taken its first step into a larger, more complex universe, but they did so united and filled with purpose. The years that followed were a whirlwind of activity and growth. Earth became a hub of interstellar diplomacy and scientific research. The Starbridge, once seen as a potential threat by some alien species, became a symbol of hope and unity. Amelia found herself leading teams of human and alien scientists, tackling problems that ranged from stabilizing unstable star systems to developing new forms of faster-than-light communication. Liam's musical insights proved invaluable in understanding and manipulating the cosmic harmonies that underpin much of the universe's structure. But it wasn't all smooth sailing. Earth's new role in galactic affairs made it a target for those who resisted change or sought to maintain their own power. The Vex Imperium, though held at bay, remained a constant threat. Other, more insidious dangers emerged: cosmic horrors from the spaces between dimensions, time-displaced remnants of long-dead civilizations, and the ever-present risk of misusing the immense powers they were learning to control. Through it all, the spirit of harmony and cooperation that had allowed humanity to activate the Starbridge continued to guide them. Earth became known across the galaxy as a place where differences were celebrated, where impossible problems found creative solutions, and where the music of the spheres played in perfect resonance with the songs of countless alien worlds. 10 years to the day after the activation of the Starbridge, Amelia stood with Liam on the observation deck of Harmony Station, a massive space habitat that served as Earth's primary research facility and diplomatic center. Below them, the blue marble of Earth shone brightly, while above, the sprawling arms of the Starbridge pulsed with energy, connecting their home to countless distant stars. "Did you ever imagine it would turn out like this?" Liam asked, his voice filled with wonder. Though no longer the teenager he was when their journey began, his eyes still held that same spark of curiosity and excitement. Amelia shook her head, smiling. "Never in my wildest dreams. But that's the beauty of it, isn't it? The universe is so much stranger and more wonderful than we could have ever imagined." As they watched, a fleet of ships emerged from the Starbridge, a joint human-alien expedition setting out to explore a newly discovered galaxy. Among them was a vessel piloted by Zinral, now an honorary citizen of Earth and one of their most trusted allies. "We've come so far," Amelia mused, "but in many ways, we're still just beginning. There's so much more to discover, so many more challenges to overcome." Liam nodded, his face set with determination. "And we'll face them the same way we faced everything else, together, in harmony." As the expedition disappeared into the depths of space, Amelia felt a profound sense of pride and hope. Humanity had not just found its place among the stars, they had become an integral part of the cosmic symphony, their unique melody enriching the grand composition of the universe. The Starbridge pulsed above them, a constant reminder of how far they had come and the infinite possibilities that lay ahead. Whatever the future held, Earth was ready. They would face it with courage, creativity, and the unshakable belief that together, anything was possible. As Amelia and Liam turned to head back to their labs, eager to tackle the next great challenge, the stars seemed to twinkle just a little brighter. The universe was vast and full of wonders, and humanity's greatest adventure was only just beginning.